All right, I've got Bobby Arnold with me here today. And for those of you who don't know Bobby yet, you are in for a real treat. He is one of our board members, and I kind of almost want to say senior board members since you've been with us for so long, Bobby. You've got some gray hair and wisdom to prove it. And thanks for coming to hang out with me today and share some of your leadership tips and tools with us as we're learning about leadership this weekend.
Absolutely. No, I'm excited to be here and I appreciate you inviting me.
Absolutely. I've learned a lot from your leadership, Bobby. I've learned a lot from watching you, and you've always got some kind of wisdom tidbit to say and something to be able to offer that really makes me think differently about maybe an issue that we're trying to work through or a solution that we need to find. And I just always appreciate that about your perspective and how you bring that to the team and to the conversation. But I guess we'll just kind of kick it off. One of my biggest questions that I wanted to ask to you today is, a lot of people that are watching today are just learning about how to lead in, whether it's at home or they're learning how to lead in, the bleeding disorder community, or maybe they're learning just how to lead themselves. I don't think we put enough emphasis on what it means to lead even just yourself sometimes. But I guess, all of us are driven by benefits. So, you're in sales, you have to think about benefits and all of that kind of thing when you're offering a new thing to somebody. But what would you say as far as the benefits of leadership are? What's the number one thing that you think is the positive, the benefit to being a leader and learning how to lead well?
Well, one of the things I've learned through experience over the years regarding leadership, we a lot of times get a different perspective. Thinking being a leader means you're on top and everyone kind of does what you dictate and says to do, etc. And what I've found out, whether it's being involved with Hope for Hemophilia or any other organizations or work or even in my own home and family, is that I've learned the benefit of leading to me is learning how to serve others and helping them achieve what is best for them in their life. I guess it's leading is not always about me. It's really about the other people that I'm involved with.
That's so good. So good, Bobby. So true. And I think, we've had some other interviews with other people this weekend, and I've heard some other people say something similar is that servant leadership is really the best kind of leadership. And it's so true. I guess one of the things that I know, and I've watched you lead in several instances, and you have this way of tactfully responding when there's conflict and being able to tactfully approach things and even lead others through maybe the process. I guess, you have been in leadership for a long time, but tell me, what do you think is the thing that's helped prepare you the most for being a leader? If you could kind of maybe start all over and kind of start from square one, what do you think is the thing that would had prepared you, but also could prepare others for leadership today?
It's kind of a two-part maybe answer. Obviously, there's a practical education to leadership, and that is simply educating yourself. Reading a lot, listening to other people, taking other people's wisdom and knowledge that they've accumulated over the years and seeing where I can apply that in my own life. But I'll tell you, the biggest learner that I've had in becoming a leader is through, struggles that I've had in life, whether, it's financial struggles, health issues, challenges with, family members or children, good and bad, whatever's going on, you learn in those areas. Failures in relationships, we have conflict at times in different relationships, whether it's with our spouse, our children, our friends, or people we work with. And, heck, I have conflict with myself at times, and I have to learn to overcome those. And that's probably one of the biggest areas I've learned is through those types of events in life. We can either pay attention or we can just ignore them. And I found that paying attention and trying to glean out of those has been best for me.
That's so good. Gosh, that's good, Bobby. I think that no matter how much we all wish we learned from other people's experiences and we didn't have to learn the hard way, I think most of us learn the hard way. And I appreciate that, and also appreciate that about the grace that you walk through with other leaders. I know there's been times, where I've made mistakes, and others in our organization have kind of made mistakes along the way, and maybe we've had to talk about those things. And I think that you've always had a certain measure of grace for that, to be able to say, you know what, this is where we learn. You're never winning or losing. You're winning or learning, and you walk through that well. And I have benefited from that, and I appreciate that a lot. I guess that kind of leads into the next question, which is, do leaders make mistakes, and are leaders perfect? And I know I'm not. So we're in trouble.
Wow, that's the biggest challenge that we have, is recognizing that, we're not perfect. And, honestly, I've made a lot more mistakes in my life probably than I have good decisions at different times, at different points, at different measures. Doesn't mean they're big failures or little, maybe just small little failures in relationships. But I guess the older I've gotten, I've realized the less I really know sometimes. In essence, it's really paying attention. And you mentioned a great word there, grace. I know there were times in my life where people showed me grace when I didn't deserve it. There were times in my life when I didn't show grace, and I realized that, that was a mistake. So being willing to show grace to others, I call it, sometimes we all have a wall of shame, right? There are plaques we could put on our wall of our failures. And just being willing to admit, hey, I don't know everything. I've failed. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. There's a lot of people that are listening this weekend. They're tuning in. They're trying to learn a little bit more about, like, hey, how do I become a good leader? I've been in maybe some capacity where I was a leader, but I didn't feel like I did it right. Like, how do I become a better leader, a good leader? What would you say to those people, that are wanting to learn how to lead in any sphere of influence, I guess? What's the one thing that they should be doing right now to help to grow as a leader?
Wow. I could probably list multiple things, but what's important to me, I guess I'm going to kind of go back to the beginning comments we made. I think in a leadership position, we're really serving others. We're serving the organization. We're serving our family. We're really serving the needs of trying to help other people become successful. In fact, I remember telling a gentleman I worked with 20-something years ago that if I could help him be successful, then I knew that I would be successful. So instead of putting myself first, if I could focus on what he needed, I knew that I would follow suit. Just naturally, that's what would occur. So I would say, again, going back to the serving others, not considering yourself better. And again, when you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. And, say, hey, I'm sorry. Would you forgive me? And let's move on. Let's get this right.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. When you say, learning how to forgive others, how does that tie into being able to lead people?
Well, when you're in a leadership position and you're serving others, but you have responsibility. You're responsible to help make sure that things are working the way they should, that people are attentive to what they're supposed to be doing at the moment, that the organization is growing and meeting the needs of what it's designed, the people that it's designed to serve. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get offended at people's mistakes if we're not careful. People are going to mess up, just like I mess up. Mm-hmm. And we can either stay angry at them, point the finger, or we can say, hey, look, they made a mistake. I've probably made 10 times more mistakes than they have. If I don't forgive them, then I'm going to have a grudge or a bad attitude towards them, and it's going to affect the way that I serve this organization. Wow. So to me, that's kind of what I'm thinking is, if I don't forgive, it's really about me forgiving. If I don't forgive, I'm the one that's going to be hurt, and I'm not going to be able to put my best foot forward to help the organization that I'm involved in.
Yeah, that's so good. Always putting the mission above really the hurt.
Exactly.
I know that you have some great books on leadership you've read through the years. Is there one that just sticks out to you that you love?
So when you asked the question, there was one book that really came to mind that I've enjoyed and has really made a big impact, I believe, in the way I lead and serve and conduct my business, personal and at work. It's a book by a past CEO of Southwest Airlines. The name of the book is called Lead with Love, and that's LUV. And her name was Colleen Barrett. I fly Southwest an awful lot when I travel. I fly and work across the country, and so I've experienced that airline and what they're about. And I can always remember, I always heard good things about the way that they operate. And when I saw the book, I said, I'm going to find out what her story is and what makes this airline do things the way they do. And what impressed me most was that their corporate approach is not, it's about the management. It's not about, the bottom line profit. Of course, we all have to make money in business, but ultimately they made a decision at one point at the start of the company that they were going to put their employees first. You always hear the adage, the customer's number one, right? Their approach is our employees are number one, because they knew that if they treated their employees as number one, that their employees would make sure that the customers that flew with them would be treated as number one. And that, I think, if you fly Southwest very often, you will see that as a mandate that's worked for them. So I'll tell you what I will do. I would be willing to give away three of those books about the Southwest Airlines to individuals that answer a particular question that you might have, Jonathan.
Okay, awesome, man. Thank you so much. That's incredible. So if you're listening right now, watching this right now, go ahead and look in the comments. We're going to put a question in the comments. People who respond with the correct answer, the first 3 people are going to get a free copy of this book, and Lead with Love by Ken Blanchard and Colleen Barrett. And man, I'm going to get a copy of this myself, even though I'm ineligible to win any of these prizes this weekend. I'm going to get one too and read it myself. But thank you so much, Bobby, for doing that. That's just an incredible, generous offer that you've given everybody, and I appreciate that book, and I'm anxious to read it. I think you bring up such a good point about, I always say that we can only give away what we've received. I might want to give away a Corvette all day long, but if I don't have a Corvette, I can't give it. I can't give that away to somebody. And I don't have a Corvette, in case anyone wants to know. I have an old Ford 2003 with about 300,000 miles on it. If you want that, I'd be happy to give it to you. But there is, but if I don't have it, I can't give it away. And so, that's something that I love about that mindset, is that when we give in, we pour into our friends, our relationships, our employees, the people that are volunteering with us, all the people around us. When we pour into them good things, we'll oftentimes that will be what they have in their toolbox to give away also. So
absolutely, I agree with that.
Bobby, before you go, I know people are just dying to know, what do you do for a living? I said earlier you're in sales, and people can learn more about you on our website, but what do you do for a living?
So the correct answer would be I'm a husband and a dad, correct?
There you go.
Primarily, that's what I do for my primary living. However, to put food on the table and pay the bills, I work for a company called Hancock Wealth Trust and Asset Investment Management Group. And I travel the country working with institutions and firms, talking to them about what we do in that arena of financial investing. That's and hoping that they'll maybe use us to service their clients.
That's incredible. And you've been at that for a long time, right?
I've been in the financial industry for over 30 years now.
Wow. Wow, you started when you were like 5. That's
I
amazing.
did. That's amazing. You know, I was a prodigy.
Next Warren Buffett right there. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for all you do for us as a team. Thank you for just your generosity today to give us the wisdom that you've learned. And well, I'm looking forward to hearing some good reports from the books that you've given away as well. I'm certain that those seeds will be planted well in good soil, and we'll look forward to hear some good reports about that. But man, thank you so much for everything that you do, and look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon. When all this social distancing is over, maybe we can get a good group fist bump going or something, high
I love
five.
it. We can get a snowball somewhere.
That's right. All right, Bobby, we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks so much.
All right, you're welcome. Enjoyed it very much.
All right, bye-bye.